Okay, I'm assuming this thing is working. Is it working? Is it working? Is it working? Oh fuck! Ugh. Sounds like it's working, I think. Sounds like it's working, I think. Yep, it's working. Okay. How? There we go. Give people a second to get in. You know what? I'm gonna take a chance to buy some audiobooks. 'Cause I'm just that cool. No wait, not audiobooks. Fucking Kindle books. Fucking audiobooks are expensive. Look at that. $10. For $10 I could read a book without having to fucking, like, I could read a book myself for $10 compared to paying like $30 for a goddamn audiobook. And don't get me wrong, the audiobooks be good for Warhammer, like really good, but sometimes your boy just doesn't have $30 like that. Plus, I've been meaning to read this one. I don't know why I keep getting confused with Battlesector. Like, I keep thinking that there's an E at the end of Battlesector. Sector? Sector? Battlesector. Battlesector. Not Battlesector. Chicken strips! I wish I could listen to music while I'm streaming. That'd be fucking awesome. Well, there's nothing stopping me from hooking up my fucking headphones and then just wearing 2 headphones. Just damn. Sometimes your boy just wants to have it on hand. Okay, Infinite Divine, Oltics, and the Ruin of the Ithakas Dynasty. Twice Dead King. Oltics. Twice Dead King. I think there's a book on Oltix. Maybe not, who knows? Because I know Oltix goes through a whole bunch of crazy shit and more in the Necron books. Oh, it's in Twice Dead King. Okay. Mm-hmm. I've been meaning to read these about the Necrons, the Twice Dead King series, where they really put how, well, being any other race feels like in Warhammer, because, like, imagine that shit. You're living in a planet where everything's normal for you. You wake up one morning and you're like, alright, time to go feed the chickens or whatever bullshit you do on another planet in Warhammer. And then out of nowhere, a giant ship that looks like a floating cathedral just comes in and says, "We are the Imperium. We are here to fuck up your shit if you do not agree with us." And then all you see is these giant fucking armored soldiers, each of them the size of the Hulk, just ready to fuck up your shit, all in the name of the Emperor. That's what Twice Dead King is. That's what that novel is. Ah, fuck it. I'm gonna start. Was this game always this quiet? I don't even fucking remember. Oh my god, it's loud! What's up? It's been a bit. Planetary Supremacy. Planetary Supremacy is a new conquest-style skirmish campaign mode currently in active development. Play this preview and share your feedback. Okay. Oh yeah, I only have 2. I should really buy the Necrons for this game. Damn, that's been a while. Ah, fuck it, I'll play the story mode. I always forget where I'm at in this game. And I think like the last time I played it was like a week ago. Good game. Good game. The holding button thing is kind of annoying, but I don't know if you've been seeing my streams, but like I'm into Warhammer now, which is like these little miniatures, like little dudes that you paint and stuff. And there's a lot of like lore and story behind the world of those miniatures. So what I'm trying to do with these streams is sort of explain the story behind the lore. Like the last stream I explained how it started with D&D and how D&D really didn't need miniatures. So this one dude said, hey, let's make a game just for miniatures. So they came up with Warhammer Fantasy, and then they said, you know, it'd be badass if we had like laser weapons and shit. So they sold these little extra parts to give like the fantasy miniatures laser weapons. And when I say fantasy, I mean like, think of Lord of the Rings, I guess. But like they sold these extra pieces to give like those miniatures laser weapons and shit, until eventually they decided, you know what, let's just make a whole new game, and they came up with Warhammer 40k. which started out as a tabletop like D&D, where it required miniatures, and until eventually they came up with new versions of Warhammer 40k, where it went from being a tabletop RPG like D&D and became a sort of war game, sort of like a board game, but a little more intricate. So you basically buy all these little miniatures, little tanks, little soldiers, and shit like that, and you basically make armies. And in the last stream, I basically I explained that, and I also explained the lore about how these frog dudes who look like MODOK from Marvel Comics came, the Necrontyr, which were highly sophisticated, highly scientific, but weren't really futuristic that much. Like, they could still explore space and stuff, but they weren't used to it. Not only that, but the sun was so powerful in their galaxy that their life expectancy was like about 40 years or so, I think. And because it would just give them basically super cancer. So the Necrontyr talked to the frog people, the old ones, basically said, hey, teach us how to be immortal. They said no. The Necrontyr found this race of energy called the Satan. They joined forces. They fought the old ones. The old ones created the orcs, the Eldar, which are space elves, and humanity. The old ones teamed up with the Eldar because they were exactly what they needed. The Satan turned the Necrontyr, which were regular people, into Necrons. Think of the T-800, Arnold Schwarzenegger's T-800. Those are Necrons, basically. So the Necrons and the Satan fought the old ones and the Eldar. The old ones died and lost. The Necrons rebelled against the Satan. The Satan died. The Necrons went to sleep forever and ever. Not really. The Eldar basically fucked and killed each other to death, literally. I can't really explain it anymore, because that's literally what happened. They literally killed and fucked each other to death. And that's as far as that last stream went. Right now, what I want to do with this one is try to explain where humanity went after the Eldar decided to rape and kill each other to death. But after a bit, I'm trying to get back into this game.
Time flows in contradictions since the invasion. There's an unexpected slowness in the aftermath of an impossible victory. A languid sweetness of air, tasted by the hapless victor. And yet, I also feel the turning of change, and the accumulated minutiae that falls to the survivors. Corpses to be burned, fortifications to be rebuilt, neophytes to be blooded. Regardless of our losses, we are the angels of death. And we are always prepared for war. Not that these are concerns for the fledgling Primaris right now. Balfora is an unforgiving tutor. Dante says that you are blood angels. Prove it! Show me that the blood of the great angel flows within your veins.
We are the sons of Sanguinius.
Alright, I'll probably take this opportunity to go ahead and start. So after the Eldar decided to fuck themselves to death, humanity slowly grew, which is why the old ones didn't choose them. But it looked like it was going towards destruction and not prosperity. So in the last stream, I talked about the warp and how it's a dimension of energy. There are demons that travel in and out of that shit. Not so bad at this time, but there are people who could gather energy from the warp. Those people are called Psychers. There were about maybe 5 or 6 crazy powerful Psychers. And they basically ran a small cult within themselves, and they basically said, look, humanity ain't doing so well. The shit ain't working. So they created a ritual to basically kill themselves to give birth to an almighty being. And so they did. They killed themselves and they created the Emperor. The Emperor of Humanity. And when I say almighty being, the dude was literally super duper fucking powerful. He was like 2 times the size of the Hulk, super smart, and was basically a super psychic. As the years went on and, you know, religion was established and all that other stuff, science, all that jazz, the Emperor basically said, this shit sucks, humanity sucks, I'm just gonna unify everybody. By this point, the world looked like Mad Max, and if Mad Max and Fallout had a weird baby, it'd be Earth when the Emperor first came around. So the first thing the Emperor did was create these dudes called the Thunder Warriors, and the Thunder Warriors were basically, think of them as a prototype Space Marine, but not yet. They weren't as smart. They were almost as big, a little bit bigger maybe, but they weren't smart. They were literally just foot soldiers who went berserk, and the Emperor used them to sort of wage war until eventually he unified everything. After unification, though, one of the things he did was he destroyed any and all religion, basically saying religion is fucking stupid. Religion is the reason why we're here in this shit. Religion is why our Earth is like this. It's stupid. There's even a short story called The Last Church. Very interesting story where he goes to... where is it? Mount Everest or something? It's gonna bother me. Whatever. He finds the last Christian church, I think, after destroying everything else, all the other religions. He finds the last one. He rages a huge war over it. But at first he disguised himself as like a regular person, and the last priest comes up to him and he tells him, "Oh, why are you here? What is your name?" And the Emperor says, "Revelation." And the priest basically tells him, "You got a lot of balls to be calling yourself Revelation, dude." And the Emperor's like, "Look, this ain't gonna go any other way. Religion is dumb. This ain't gonna work. Just stop. Just stop the fight. We don't have to go about this way. You could just leave and we'll destroy everything and it won't matter." The priest says no. A whole war rages out to the point that the priest gets injured, and the Emperor basically comes up to him, and the priest is like, the priest sees him as like a golden being. And if you like look up pictures, if you go on Google right now and you're like the Emperor Warhammer 40k, you can clearly see this motherfucker is more religious than anybody else. He's not wearing crosses or anything, but he looks like a divine fucking being, man. So the priest sees him and all this golden shit and basically says, "How the hell can you say you're against divinity and against religion when you look like a divine being yourself, you asshole?" And the Emperor's like, "You see me how you want to see me, bro. Like, I don't care how you see me. Y'all can see me however the fuck y'all want. But that ain't gonna change the fact, I'm not a divine being. I don't believe in religion. I'm not trying to push a religion or anything of that sort. So just let it go." And the priest says no. The Emperor kills him. Well, before the priest dies, he basically tells the Emperor, "Look, you want to say how you don't believe in religion and you believe in science and all this crap, but I swear to you, I'm not the only person that's going to see you as a divine being. Your plan to unify us, however you want to unify us, is not going to work. It will do the complete opposite of what you want to do. People will make a religion out of you. They will see you as a divine being." And the Emperor's like, "How can you even say that? I'm trying to bring truth. I'm trying to bring reality and honesty to humanity. Y'all motherfuckers were the first ones to fucking do the Salem witch trials and witch burning inquisitions and shit." And the priest which is huge foreshadowing by the way. But, the priest basically says, whatever, dog, just kill me, I don't give a fuck anymore. Priest dies, the Emperor starts, this thing called the Primark Project. I'm going to try playing while I'm talking. Yeah, it should be fun.
We fight and we die for the Imperium.
So the Emperor basically starts this thing. For one of the first few things he starts is the Space Marines, because by this point he's already started like gathering the whole spacefaring project to make humanity a spacefaring race. It's literally his belief in going into space is literally manifest destiny. Like, he believes humanity should be rulers. They should be the top dog. Like, we deserve the galaxy. The universe should be ours.
They will not overwhelm us.
Did you miss, you dumbass? Why did you miss? He was right in front of you. The universe should be ours to rule over, with no one telling us how to do it or how to go about it. And that's what the Emperor believes. So he started this thing called the Primark Project, where basically he made, through science and warp magic, heresy. Through warp energy and science, basically made 20 clones of himself, all of them different. Did I use these? Yeah, I used those.
Affirmative.
Over here.
Engaging the enemy.
Hopefully they can. Yes. Can I shoot those? No, they're undercover because of this thing. They're still, I think they're undercover because of the range. Because that little hill.
Death to the Xenos swarm.
Yep, that didn't kill him. So, those 20 kids ended up, while the Emperor was working on this in space, by the way. Dumbest idea ever. But he, while he was making these kids, at this point they're already like babies in tanks. They're all test tube babies, all 20 of them. They were basically supposed to be literal clones of himself. All of them different to different aspects, of course. So, those babies were jettisoned by accident, quote-unquote accident, Superman style, whatever, and landed on different planets. And so the Emperor basically started his crusade in space with humanity. The Space Marines, all of them becoming a thing, all of them being a thing by this time. He had 20 legions of Space Marines. Legions are enormous. Every legion is the size of a fleet of fucking warships, so you can imagine how many that is. During this crusade, he found all 20 of his cloned children. 2 of them we don't talk about, because they're literally erased from history. They weren't erased as babies, they were erased later. But where else does it go to? I might as well explain that. So, by the time the Emperor found all 20 of his kids, gave each of them a legion, basically said, alright, y'all are gonna help me find whatever is left of because humanity, those humans that were smart enough to leave Earth when everything was shitty, they were smart enough to leave, so whatever. But we're gonna go on a crusade, we're gonna conquer every planet we can find and unify whatever humanity is out there. If it doesn't agree with us, fuck it, we're gonna take them anyways and rule over that planet. If they don't like it, they can kiss my ass. So every one of these kids got a fucking legion. Oh no, at this point they're adults. I can't really call them kids. Eventually 2 of them were erased from history. Which is a whole event by itself. Like, literally, they're erased from history. If you look into Warhammer and say how many Primarks are there, there's like There's supposed to be 20, but now there's 18 because 2 of them were erased from history. I can't even say the name if I wanted to because they're erased from history.
Close combat support! To the sky, brothers!
To the sky, Shorbu! Let me stop that.
On our way!
Sanguinius watches over us.
So, there's a story behind that. It's not very big, but the story goes that 3 of the Primarks went to the Emperor's homeboy, Malcador the Sigillite. He's not as giant as the Emperor. He's literally an old man with super duper psychic powers, almost as good as the Emperor. These 3 Primarks basically said, how the fuck can you erase our brother's history and shit? Malcador chokes him out and says, so what? Do something about it, bitch. Get rotated. I don't care. Then started, a few other things happened, you know, throughout the years. More crusades happened. You know, battles between the Eldar and the humanity, the Dark Eldar and humanity, the Orcs, a few other races here and there, all in the name of the Crusade. There were, once again, 18 children, but out of all of them, the Emperor probably only really liked, and dare I say, loved one of them, and that was Horus. Horus was everything the Emperor wanted in a Primark. Oh, fuck. There's a little fucking team back there. I should have overwatched everything. Oh well.
They will regret coming this close.
As long as a lot of them... Well, they're just regular soldiers I can really loot. I don't... It's not that important if I lose them or not.
Push them back!
But yeah, he loved Horus. Horus was everything he wanted in a Primark, and maybe even more. Dumbasses. So, Horus was the first one he found, and then he found the others along the way, of course. So it was Horus, Porturabo, Reboot Gilliman, Lionel Johnson, Sanguinius, Angron, Mortarion, Vulcan, Fulgrim, Magnus, Lorgar. Give me a sec. Jesus. Rogel Dorn. Jesus. Conrad Kurz. Oh my god, dude. I know these. Give me a sec. It's Conrad Kurz. Damn it, what's going on? Ferrus Manus. This one's really annoying me. I know his name. He's like the emoest one out of all of them. He literally looks like Jordan, fucking, what's his name, Leto. I don't know why I said Jordan Leto. This actually sounds better. Dude, what was his frickin' name? Fuck, I'm gonna have to look this up. This hurts my head now. Primark of the Raven Guard. Corvus Corax. God damn it. Fuck. Ugh. Corvus Corax. Jagatai Khan. I'm forgetting another 2. There's 2 more. Did I say Magnus? I think I said Magnus. Lionel Johnson, Rogel Dorn, Porturabo, Ferrus Manus, Fulgrim. Maybe I need to look at the picture. Give me a second. Warhammer 40k Primarks. There we go. Somebody has a nice little picture of all of them. No, I wouldn't say nice. So, Rogel Dorn. Oh, fucking Layman Russ, Sanguinius, Angron, Portarabo, Fulgrim, Vulcan, Corvus Corax. I'm guessing that's Lionel Johnson, Conrad Kurz, Mortarion, Alfarius, Jagatai Khan, Lorgar, Reboot Gilliman, Horus, Magnus. Who the fuck is that last one? Jesus Christ, dude, I'm screwing myself up here. Okay, somebody has them organized. Okay. We are the sons of Caliban. The Primarks are the Space Marine Legion, so it's Lionel Johnson, Fulgrim, Portarabo, Jagatai Khan, Layman Russ, Rogel Dorn, Conrad Kurz, Sanguinius, Ferrus Manus, Angron, Reboot Gilliman, Mortarion, Magnus, Horus, Lorgar, Vulcan, Corvus Corax, and Alfarius. Okay. Those were all the Primarks of Warhammer. Each of them had a legion that sort of they led. Eventually the orcs got really fucking... They basically said, "We gonna start a war." That's how orcs talk. The orcs basically started a giant war against humanity. They literally grabbed the moon, loaded it up with rockets, and then just headed straight for Earth. The orcs are nuts in Warhammer. They're fucking awesome. That was a giant war. Horus saved the Emperor. After that war, though, the Emperor said, "You know what? I'm done with the Crusade. Y'all can keep crusading. Horus, from now on, you're leading the Crusade." And Horus was like, "I'm the Emperor?" He's like, No, motherfucker. I'm the Emperor. You're... I don't know. We'll make up a title for you. You'll be War Master. There you go. You're War Master now, Horus. Congratulations.
Thin their numbers. They will not overwhelm us.
Bang. Battlesector, the Legion in this one are the Blood Angels, which are led by Sanguinius.
Engaging the enemy.
So, Horus led the Crusade. From then on in, the Emperor just hung out on Earth.
Your orders.
Moving. The Emperor had his own thing that he was doing, which was highly secretive. He told nobody about it. Like, he didn't even tell the Primarks that they came from science and the warp. They just said, "Yes, you are my creation, my son." And that was basically it. If anything. That's basically all he told them, if anything, about their creation. I should really move one of these guys somewhere.
Battle line squad ready.
So Horus led the Crusade, and it led to a lot of bullshit.
We are the sons of Sanguinius.
He wasn't bad. Like, I'm not saying, oh, Horus was terrible at crusading or anything like that.
For the Emperor.
But it led to the big, one of the, if not the biggest event in Warhammer history. There was a Primark, Lorgar, in his planet that he came from, that he landed on. their big thing was worship of religion. Obviously, that's not good, because the Emperor doesn't like that shit. Where the others would take maybe 2-3 years to finally get a planet under control, Lorgar took 5 to 10 years to get it under control, because he taught them about how to worship the Emperor. Because he saw the Emperor as a god. Like, literally, when the Emperor first found Lorgar, Lorgar was like, I knew it! I knew you were the one god! And the Emperor was like, don't call me god. And he's like, whatever you say, god. And the Emperor's like, stop it. He's like, yes, Divine One. He's like, god damn it, you motherfucker. So, Lorgar was teaching worship for the Emperor, which it's not good, because the Emperor doesn't like that shit. One thing led to another, and Reboot Gilliman, the Primarch of the Ultramarines, the blue, completely blue, like a soft blue, not a dark blue, blue Space Marines, went to one of his planets that you know, worship was being done, and just razed that bitch completely. They didn't destroy the planet, like, they didn't turn it into glass, they didn't Death Star it, they just destroyed everything. Like, there was no city after that. So Lorgar and his legion, called the Word Bearers, as is the word, came, and they're like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? This planet was fine! And Reboot Gilliman, the Space Marines, and Malkador the Sigilite was even there. They're like, yeah, motherfucker, but you can't be worshipping shit. You know how Dad feels about worship. So Malkador was like, yeah, Lorgar, you can't be worshipping shit, bro. You can't do that. Worship is not cool. And he's like, so you just raise my cities from the ground? And he's like, yeah. So Lorgar slaps the fuck out of Malkador the Sigilite, which is crazy, because usually if you get hit by a Space Marine, that's it. You are one-punched man from this existence. There's nothing left of you. Just splatter. But Malkador, I don't know, maybe it was a soft hit and Malkador just didn't die. So Malkador contacted the Emperor, and he's like, look, he's not listening. The Emperor shows up and basically tells, you know, he shows up, Lorgar's like, why? Why would you just let something like, why would you want this to happen? And the Emperor's like, on your knees. And Lorgar's like, what? The Emperor's like, kneel down on the ashes of this city that we raised because of your fault. And Lorgar's like, I'm not gonna do that. And the Emperor, using his psychic powers, made the Lorgar and his entire legion, once again, this is a whole legion. Every legion is the size of a fucking fleet of ships. So imagine that. He made them all kneel in the ashes of that city, and basically told Lorgar, this is what happens when you don't listen. This is what happens when you bring religion to this shit. Now you're gonna kneel in the ashes of this city that you fucked up. We didn't fuck it up. He did totally fuck it up. We didn't fuck it up. You fucked it up. And this is what happens. Let me move these guys here. Just set them up for Overwatch. So Lorgar and his legion basically, you know, kneel in the ashes. Poor guys.
Assault Marines ready!
I'll put these on Overwatch too. There's nothing over here.
Battle line squad ready.
I'd rather just set them up for Overwatch.
Overwatch.
Fucking no full. Oh my god.
Overwatch.
There. Look. Okay. Turn this way. And set your Overwatch here. Thank you. So, the Emperor leaves, Malkador leaves, Reboot Gilliman and his legion are there, and Lorgar gets up, and Reboot's like, you gonna stop acting like a little bitch now, Lorgar? Lorgar punches him. Reboot's like, is your tantrum over, Lorgar? And then Reboot leaves. He's literally named Reboot. It's spelled Roubute. Rabute. Rabute Gilliman, my bad. Hold on. Okay, set it on Overwatch just in case. Set these guys. Yep. Nice. Yeah, should be good. So, Lorgar goes back to his ship with his legions. Everybody leaves that poor planet. There's like maybe one little human girl survivor, and they pick her ass up too, so she could be taken care of there. But basically, Lorgar's abusive piece of shit father, not the Emperor, just a regular human, comes up to him and his piece of shit, I'm calling him his stepdad. His stepdad and Lorgar's stepdad and his top, like, general, Erebus. It's Erebus who's his general, and oh my god, what's his stepdad's name? I don't even fucking remember. They basically tell him, look, what kind of god would do that shit? The Emperor ain't a god. Fuck that shit. What kind of god would just let a city burn like that?
To the sky,
or tell
brothers!
a city to burn like that? Like, no, that's not a god. Screw that shit, Lorgar. Let's go find some real gods. Because there's no way the Emperor can be a god after that shit. So, Lorgar finds out that the Emperor did make them through the warp energy. But he learned that through demons, so it's like, it's obvious that it's a fucking lie,
The
but
Swarm
whatever.
has no right to live!
Like, it's not obvious that the warp energy is a lie. What I'm saying is, like, the demons told Lorgar, yeah, the reason why y'all Primarks are a thing, the reason why y'all are born is because the Emperor made a deal with us to make y'all, and now he's not answering our phone calls. So fuck that shit. So Lorgar basically said, you know what? This is what I've been wanting. Just actual divination. So I'm gonna worship y'all from now on. So Lorgar turned traitor. Lorgar became the first Chaos Primarch. So he sent Erebus, his top general, basically to different legions to basically start these things called the lodges. And in your head, you're like Cracker Barrel? Like, no. I mean, like, basically the whole point of these lodges were every Space Marine, whether they were a general, whether they were, you know, high ranking, that shit didn't matter. They would be able to talk freely amongst each other, not just as soldiers, but as brothers, is the way they explained it. Fucking lie.
My fury will be fast.
But the real purpose of these lodges were to basically recruit people into chaos. Nah. I'm just gonna send these guys over here. See if they go. Oh no, wait, I could just. Duh.
With strength!
But yeah, Erebus was sent to basically create these lodges where they would recruit people to join the traitor side. At this point, it was just Lorgar who was a traitor, but nobody knew, of course. So once again, Horus was crusading around. One thing led to another, where Horus was injured, and he was injured, died, and came back to life under the forces of chaos. Demons basically recruited him, and Horus is a traitor.
Open fire!
So that's the start of the Horus Heresy. And while all of this is happening, the Emperor's back on Earth trying to take care of his shit. The only one who finds out about it early enough is the Primark Magnus, the leader of the Thousand Sons. And Magnus is an incredibly powerful psychic. At this point, though, during the Crusades with Horus, they created these things called the Monarchia. Was it Monarchia Accords or some shit? Basically, they banned psychers. They banned any psychic soldier, any use of psychic abilities, any of that shit. It was gone. No more psychic. Magnus wanted to warn the Emperor and also prove to him, hey, psychic powers aren't bad. Psychic powers can help us. So he sent like an astral projection to Earth, not knowing that the Emperor was setting up this warp portal so he could start doing safer travels through the warp. So Magnus interrupted that, accidentally caused a portal to the warp where demons can literally just come out all Doom Eternal style and shit. The Emperor was pissed off and sent Layman Russ, the leader of the Primark of the Space Wolves, to go get Magnus. Horus saw this as an opportunity to get Magnus on his side and told Layman Russ, hey, Layman Russ, the Emperor changed his mind. He doesn't want Magnus back on Earth. He wants Magnus dead. Layman Russ saw this, so Magnus wasn't really prepared for this. Like, he wasn't really prepared for a fight. Or if I remember correctly, they were about to land, and it looked like they were about to fight. Like, the Space Wolves were ready for battle, but Magnus didn't say, hey, go ahead and fight these motherfuckers at all. So it led into this battle between the Thousand Sons and the Space Wolves, Layman Russ versus Magnus, and Layman Russ just broke Magnus's back all Batman style and shit.
There can only be victory.
Magnus basically made a deal with the Chaos, demons, basically saying, save me, save my legion, and I'll give myself up to y'all. So Magnus turned traitor. Eventually Horus was recruiting and fucking up those he couldn't recruit, until eventually it turned into a literal vertical slice on the Primarks. So it was Horus, I can remember this. Horus, Magnus, Portarabo, Fulgrim, Lorgar, Conrad Kurz, Mortarion, Angron. Okay, I guess I can't remember this. Ah, fuck, who else was it? There's literally 9 legions. Horus, Lorgar, Mortarion, Angron, Fulgrim, Portarabo, Conrad Kurz. I'm literally forgetting 2 of them. What the hell? Horus, Lorgar, Mortarion, Angron, Fulgrim, Portarabo, Conrad Kurz. Magnus. Jesus Christ. Whatever. It was 9 Primarks versus 9 Primarks. You get the point. I was just... Horus was fucking up anybody he couldn't fuck up. One of the people he really wanted to recruit, though, was Sanguinius, but Erebus fucked that up for everybody. I remember that shit in the book. Erebus was trying to recruit Sanguinius. It didn't work. One of Sanguinius's soldiers sacrificed himself so Sanguinius wouldn't have to. Erebus went to Horus and said, yeah, the shit didn't work. Horus said, yeah, motherfucker, no shit, I told you it wouldn't work. And Erebus was like, see, the reason why we couldn't kill Sanguinius or recruit Sanguinius is because you had to butt into it. Horus literally grabbed a knife and just fucking Leatherface sliced his face off and basically said, yeah, talk shit now, bitch. Yeah, he recruited who he can until eventually it just led into what it was. Lorgar was already traitor. Lorgar and Horus were already traitor. Fulgrim he corrupted through a sword. This very sword that injured Horus, he used to recruit Fulgrim. And basically it would talk to him like Norman Osborn and the Green Goblin in Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man No Way Home. what eventually got Fulgrim to the traitor side was basically during these crusades they had these things called remembrancers. Just think of them as glorified newspaper reporters and journalists, but to a higher extent. They would make music, and, you know, they were just artists in general. There was a remembrancer she wanted to make music, but it was kind of obvious she was a little corrupted because she liked to use the screams of tortured people as music. She made a concert where basically all of Fulgrim's soldiers, which were known as the Emperor's Children, they were all... The concert was so good, everybody just started killing and raping each other until Fulgrim was like, you know what? I think I could get on with this. This is hot. I like this. So Fulgrim turned traitor. Portorabo just didn't like the Emperor. Magnus was injured because of what Horus did, but obviously he didn't, because of what Lehman Russ did, but obviously he didn't know Horus orchestrated that shit. Conrad Kurz is Batman. If Batman had a baby with the Joker and was trying to get over the divorce trials. Angron hates the Emperor. Mortarion hates the Emperor. A lot of the Primarks on the Traitor Legion just didn't like the Emperor. On the other side, though, with the Loyalists, they were all just loyal to the Emperor. Rogel Dorn stayed on Earth. Sanguinius, Lionel Johnson, and Reboot Gilliman tried to create their own Imperium. Because the way Horus orchestrated everything, he basically created a giant warp storm around Reboot Gilliman's 500 planets of Ultramarines. They're literally 500 planets. They advertise that shit like crazy. So Reboot Gilliman didn't know if it was over. He didn't know if, okay, the battle's already lost.
You've been flanked. I'll give you that. I don't know yet if you truly are scions of Sanguinius, or just some ruse of the Archmagos. Battle will decide. It always does.
Yeah, that's why it's called Battlesector.
Immediate assistance required. Tyranids converge at the Volkscaster relay on the Sal Veritas western edge.
Form on me, brothers. It appears Balfora has decided she's not yet done with you.
Yeah. So they eventually they found out, yo, Earth is still out. Horus hasn't reached that shit yet. Let's go. So Reboot Gilliman, Lionel Johnson, and Sanguinius tried to go through the warp storm, but because Psychers were banned, they didn't have anybody that could venture through that warp storm so they could reach Earth. The only one who was able to reach Earth on time was Sanguinius. Rogel Dorn, Jagatai Khan, and maybe a few others were already there. But at this point, Horus was headed straight for it. Magnus wanted no part of it. Portorabo tried to be a part of it. Angron was just already demonized. He was literally a demon at this point, and just mentally fucked up. If any other Primarch couldn't be part of the Horus Heresy, it was either because they were injured, they were dead, quote unquote dead, or just wanted no part of it anymore. The coolest, that led Horus going to Earth, started the Siege of Terra. It was literally a 3-hour-long war because Horus knew that if this shit didn't happen quickly, there would be reinforcements because Reboot Gilliman and Lionel Johnson were already on their way. Rogel Dorn was a master tactician, master defender, and a master baiter. Ha 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 ha. Jagatai Khan was an incredible fucking fighter. Fought Mortarion. Mortarion was like, you fight like a bitch, Jagatai Khan. And Jagatai Khan was like, yeah, you would know a lot about bitches, wouldn't you, Mortarion, since you are one. Fucked his ass up. Jagatai Khan then fought Fulgrim, and he was like, damn, bro, you ugly as shit now. And Fulgrim was like, well, at least I don't look like the fucking villain from Mulan. And he was like, yeah, well, at least I'm not a giant fucking prostitute snake now, am I, bitch? And so they fought, and, you know. Eventually Horus realized this war ain't going fucking anywhere. So he basically pulled a Hail Mary and pulled down the shield on his own ship and basically said, yeah, Emperor, come fight me, you little bitch. But Sanguinius showed up first, and once he was inside, he was like, all legions report, converge on my location, and went to go fight Horus, and they fought. And that was like a big Anakin versus Obi-Wan fight type shit. So, because Horus loved Sanguinius, and Sanguinius fucking loved Horus. Like, when Sanguinius found out that his own soldiers were suffering from a curse from his own genetics, he told Horus before anybody.
In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. People are born, they live, they suffer, and die. Rarely of natural causes. Days prior to the fall of Cadia, Dante faced his greatest challenge. High Fleet Leviathan had broken through the Krypton shield, and the Tyranids bore directly for the sacred homeworld of the Blood Angels. Baal.
Baal.
Sons of Sanguinius rallied from the far corners of the galaxy.
Yeah.
Complete strangers died side by side as brothers. Yet even this unprecedented congregation could not hold back the Great Devourer. In their darkest moment, the Blood Angels gathered around Lord Commander Dante, a last stand. They gave themselves to the Red Thirst and stood in defiance of the alien, not for survival, for the chapter was doomed, but for the honor of their sire, the great Angel Sanguinius. And then, pandemonium, the Cicatrix Maledictum opened and tore the galaxy in two. Time stretched, contorted. Demons of Khorne poured across the moon of Baal Primus, tearing at Xenos and Marines alike. Havoc reigned. But just as quickly as it is...
Oh no, it's having a heart attack. Dante Inferno. That's kind of the reference. Kinda.
Didn't just bring relief to Baal.
Okay.
He brought with him the Primaris Space Marines, thousands bearing the mark of the blood drop. The Primaris were larger,
explain the Primaris
stronger,
too.
more resilient than their firstborn brethren. But to the Blood Angels, they represented a different kind of salvation. The promise of these super soldiers was of an improved gene line, more pure and closer to that of Sanguinius. Away from prying ears, Archmagos Call whispered that they showed fewer signs of the flaws that plagued the great angel's blood. No more thirst beating at their hearts. No more armor to be painted black. A semblance of normality has since returned to Baal. The monolithic Indomitor's crusade prepares to leave. Commander Dante, now Lord Regent of half of the Imperium, works to heal his chapter and Baal of the trauma suffered at the hands of Leviathan. And on the moon Baal Secundus, Sergeant Carlion hurries to the aid of a sanguinary priest.
That's where the foreshadowing comes in, though, because remember I told you the Emperor doesn't like worship, but there's priests. So Sanguinius fought Horus. That was a big deal. Once again, Sanguinius loved Horus, and Horus loved Sanguinius. Sanguinius showed Horus the thing that was happening to his own legion, which was a big fucking deal. Nobody knew that Sanguinius's legion was suffering through this thing called the Black Rage, where basically they would just go nuts. They would literally go fucking insane and just murder anything in front of them, which is what the lady was talking about. So Horus and Sanguinius fight, and it was a crazy fucking battle. It ended though with Horus just choking out Sanguinius like nothing. The Emperor was slowly on his way, but by the time he got there, Sanguinius was already choked out and dead. So the Emperor fought Horus, and he would get the upper hand, but then Horus would just fuck him up, because the main thing that would happen was the Emperor would get like about to just slaughter his ass, but then he'd be like, I can't kill my son, dude. I love this motherfucker. So Horus just proceeded to fuck up the Emperor until eventually. Now, a little tangent. There are normal people in Warhammer. There's normal people like you, there's normal people like me, there's normal people like your next door neighbor. Just because there are Space Marines that are the size of the Hulk doesn't mean that everybody, if you're gonna join war, you're not guaranteed to be that guy. But there are regular soldiers. Like you, like me, like a next door neighbor. If we all became soldiers, we would become soldiers in Warhammer. That's just the way it went. But there were regular people. There were regular soldiers. You could literally make an army of regular soldiers, and it looks fucking awesome. Look that shit up. Look up, what is it? It's us. Imperial Guard. Sorry. Imperial Guard armies, and you would just see rows of tanks and regular small guys and their generals that are called commissars. You would see that shit. A lone soldier, small regular dude, pulled up a las gun or a las rifle and just shot at Horus. Now don't think this is like some diehard moment where he's like, yeah, he's come to save the day. No, these las guns do nothing to fucking Space Marines. They do nothing at all. Unless you have like 50 of them tied together, then they would do something, and that's usually the strategy. But besides that, one guy with one las gun ain't gonna do shit to Horus. So Horus just fucking killed him. And that pissed off the Emperor. Because the Emperor saw that as, okay, the guy who saved my life, the guy who I first picked up from his planet, that's not this guy. So the Emperor used his psychic power to literally erase Horus from existence. He has no body, he has no soul. There is nothing left of Horus after the Emperor killed him. So with Horus dead, all the traitor legions pack it up and leave who can. Sanguinius is dead, giving any fucking Blood Angel Space Marine not only the Black Rage, but the Red Thirst, to the point where now they're literally lunatic vampires if they survive their term as a Space Marine long enough. The Emperor's injured all the way up to hell, so they put him on a chair, which is literally a life support system. It keeps his body alive, but not enough to like, okay, now I'm healed and I can save the rest of the day. No, none of that shit. It's literally a life support system. All the Emperor can do now is use his psychic powers to basically make travel through the warp an actual thing. Do any Primarks die in the Horus Heresy? Not that I can think of, not that I can remember. Yeah, I don't think any Primark besides Sanguinius, no other Primark died at the Horus at the Siege of Terra. Besides Sanguinius. But because of that, Riku Gilliman and Lionel Johnson came with their legions, and they're like, what the fuck happened? And Rogel Dorn explained, yeah, all this bullshit happened. The Siege of Terra happened, the war happened, it's over. We won, but at a great cost. The Emperor is a vegetable now. That led to Riku Gilliman creating something called the Codex Astartes, where he... Okay, later, dude. Watch the rest of the stream when you can. In the Codex Astartes, basically, he explains, look, The reason why Horus was able to make a giant war is because he had the manpower to make a giant war. 9 Primarks, 9 legions that are literally the size of a fleet. Fuck that. So he created the Codex Astartes, which it put in a lot of rules, but the main rule basically said no legion can have more than 1,000 Space Marines. So there was kind of a loophole where now these legions of Space Marines now have chapters, which are different groups. So for example, there's the Ultramarines, and a chapter of the Ultramarines would be the Sides of the Emperor, the Blood Ravens. No, the Blood Ravens aren't theirs, I think. And you get what I mean. Each one of them has like a little subsect, and those subsects have subsection have like 1,000 Space Marines to their name, which sounds like a lot, but apparently not when it comes to the Horus Heresy. So whatever. Rogel Dorn didn't like it. A lot of things happened after that. Reboot Gilliman got injured, and they had to put him in like a basically a healing chamber. Jagatai Khan was lost in the warp. Rogel Dorn was apparently assassinated. Angron is in the warp, just doing demon shit. Magnus is in the warp, doing demon shit. Fulgrim got blown up by one of his own Emperor's children, giant robots that he had before the Horus Heresy. Corvus Corax is literally a giant crow monster, but is still loyalist. The only thing that's happening with him now is he's in the warp trying to look for Lorgar's bitch ass and finish the job he started. Lorgar's in the warp doing demon shit. Not really. He has a giant church where he talks a lot of shit while his 2 generals, Erebus and his stepdad, basically duke it out 24/7. Jagatai is lost in the warp, like I said before. Ferrus Manus is dead, killed by Fulgrim. Vulcan is quote-unquote dead, killed by probably by Fulgrim. Horus is gone. He's literally nothing now. He has no soul. It is gone. So Abaddon, one of his own generals, took up his legion. Mortarion is doing demon shit. It's not in a good place by this point. The Tyranids show up. Well, seeing Tyranids at this point playing this game. Put some armies in my. Give me that one. No, give me that one.
We're the sons of Sanguinius.
No, wait, you know what? Put that in the reserve. And then give me that one.
We are the walls. We are the guns.
We are the Marines. Can I put 2, 2, and 2? I don't feel like that's very smart. You know what? Fuck it. HQ.
Sanguinius watches over us.
The next big thing that happened though was right before Reboot Gilliman was put into the healing chamber, he basically told Adeptus Mechanicus. The Adeptus Mechanicus are a bunch of humans that went to Mars, and they basically decided flesh sucks. Fuck skin. Fuck organs. Fuck all that shit. I love metal. Like, hold on. Hold on. Like this is from the Warhammer 40k Mechanicus. Hold on. Like the intro of the game. One second. Damn it. Stop opening Twitter. Warhammer 40k Mechanicus opening Speech. So, just so you could, like, this is what the Adeptus Mechanicus believe. From the moment I understood the weakness of my flesh, it disgusted me. I craved the strength and certainty of steel. I aspired to the purity of the blessed machine. Your kind cling to your flesh as if it will not decay and fail you. One day the crude biomass you call a temple will wither and you will beg my kind to save you. But I am already saved, for the machine is immortal. So yeah, crazy motherfuckers. But Reboot Gilman told their leader, basically, look, I need you to do two things. Find a way to bring me back and upgrade the Space Marines, the Adeptus Legionnaire, into the Primaris. And that dude was like, oh, that shit sounds fun. Alright, I'll do both. Let's do it. By this point, Abaddon was starting his 13th Black Crusade. And the 13th Black Crusade, it's exactly what it is. It's his 13th time trying to do a Black Crusade, because some of them either fail or sometimes he actually wins. But the 13th Black Crusade basically had him invading the planet of Cadia, where it is literally at the warp gate, and this planet, it has little to no Space Marines. It is literally just a planet of regular soldiers, and these motherfuckers held it down. Regular fucking soldiers against Chaos Space Marines, just duking it out, just regular fucking dudes holding it against Chaos Space Marines. Fucking believe that shit. It is fucking insane. By the end of this, Cadia fucking blew up, and now the fucking Imperial Guard love to say the planet of Cadia gave up before the Imperial Guard did. It is fucking insane. But whatever, I'm fast forwarding it too much. So the 13th Black Crusade was the invasion of Cadia. The reason why was because Cadia had this like telephone tower. It's not a telephone tower. I'm sorry, I'm calling it that. But it was basically a telephone tower created by the Necrons to basically keep the warp back so it doesn't come into the real world. Because the Necrons, I mean, they can't... I'm not saying they're weak against the warp. They have Psychers now. But back in the day, yeah, absolutely. So, once again, by this point, the Necrons are awake. They're slowly all waking up. And another thing that's happening is an Eldari lady, the space elves, she's finding, she's realizing a whole bunch of shit that's going on. Like, oh damn, if the planet of Cadia actually blows up, we're fucked. We have to help somebody. And the other Eldar are like, bitch, are you high? We ain't helping nobody. Fuck you talking about?
The promise of battle makes his Primaris restless, eager. It is my duty to assess their potential here on the Salts of Balfora. Through combat, I intend to discover who these red-armored giants truly are. Some of them take in the vistas of the Salt like bored tourists. There's little regard for the skies and sands that shaped our father. They will learn quickly. Or Balfora will kill them. She does not tolerate laxity. I expect this priest we find will also be new to his role. There is no reason other than youthful ignorance to risk the angel's blood on the Salts.
So... the Eldari lady's like, we gotta help somebody or else Chaos is gonna fuck us all up. And so the Eldar were like, bitch, are you high? We ain't helping nobody. Fuck the humans. We ain't about to help them. You insane? So the Eldari lady goes by herself to... I think they're holding Reboot Gilliman's body in Macragge, his home planet. And the Adeptus Mechanicus guy is also there. And they're like, alright, how do we revive this motherfucker? And the Eldari lady's like, he has to die first. And like a whole bunch of Space Marines were like, bitch, you ain't killing nobody. And she's like, he has to die first. Y'all are keeping his body from dying? He has to die or else I can't bring him back. So the Chaos Space Marines get there to Macragge. They try to fight everybody, but the Eldari lady brings back Reboot Gilliman. The Death's Mechanicus guy helps too. Puts him in this new armor called the Armor of Fate. And then Reboot's like, alright, bitch, who we swinging at? And, you know, Reboot's all pissed off, starts chopping Chaos Space Marines down. And then the Death's Mechanicus guy, I think his name is Balerius Call, he's like, yo, Reboot, I brought you back, dog. And then Reboot's like, that's awesome, but where are my new soldiers at? And he's like, I got you, homie. And then like a whole fucking fleet of these even bigger space marines called the Primarks just show up and just fucking murder everything on Macragge. And Reboot's like, I gotta go to war. And they're like, the war's in Cadia. And he's like, I'm on my way. So meanwhile the Cadians and even the fucking Necrons, because there's a Necron dude just chilling there like, this is fun, are just fighting Chaos Space Marines and demons and shit. Saint Celestine, who's literally an angel of the Imperium, shows up to fight Abaddon because Abaddon showed up, and Abaddon is leading this legion of Chaos Space Marines, and she's fighting his ass. But while all this is happening, they're trying to fix the telephone pole so that it could try to close the warp and keep it in control. But while it turns out, though, the Saint Celestine is technically, quote-unquote, a demon, quote-unquote, so it's sucking away at her powers, and so Abaddon's about to swing at this bitch when this literal human general, not a Primaris, not a fucking Legion Astartes, none of that shit, fucking catches his fucking sword with his own sword, tries to fight off Abaddon, but it's a literal human against fucking Abaddon. He can't do anything. So Abaddon basically cuts him until Celestine gets some power back to fuck his ass up, and then Abaddon's like, fuck, Reboot's on his way. Fuck it, we're about to win this bitch anyway, let's get out. So everybody leaves. The only one left is the poor human general guy who's like just bleeding out when this Necron guy comes out. And this Necron dude is fucking weird. He likes to catch historical things like a fucking Pokemon trainer. He has Thunder Warriors from way back in the day of the Imperium in a museum. He has a Tyrannid, the first Tyrannid that ever fucking touched Necron soil, and he was like, I'm gonna catch that bitch like a Lugia, and threw a Master Ball at it. He went to this general, and the general's like, why am I not dead? And the Necron's like, because I saved you, bruh. You're a part of history now. Now get in my Pokeball. Come on, get in my Pokeball. Let's go. You're getting in. I'm a Pokemon trainer, and you're a Pokemon. Caught General Creed. I think that was his name, General Creed. I don't give a fuck. But Reboot Gilliman's awake now. Right now what's going on is the Octarius War, where some dumbass basically had the idea of, you know, it'd be fun if we watch orcs and Tyrannids fight. And then since they're just so strong, whoever wins is going to be too weak to fight us. And we could just swoop in for the kill. It turns out, though, that's probably the dumbest thing you could fucking do in history. Because orcs get stronger the more fights they win, and Tyranids get stronger the more people they eat. So it's like, good job, motherfucker. You killed us. That's where Warhammer is right now, and that's kind of where humanity is right now. In Warhammer. There's some other stories, of course, but a lot of other stories kind of explain where everything else is. There's a story of the Sisters of Battle, which is a very important story to, in the case of where humanity is at the moment.
Whatever the angel requires. Of course.
Let's save this dude. probably should have brought another.
Always
Yeah, I
ready.
should have bought another.
Always vigilant.
Oh well.
Open fire! Heavy fire support! With strength! We are the lords of the assault doctrine! Yes!
But there's a sister of battle.
The swarm
There's a
has
sister
no
of battle,
right to live!
they're women who fight in the name of the Emperor. There's more to them, of course. There's a big history about them. I might do that for a next video. But then again, I don't know what to play next. Maybe Mordheim. I just bought that. I tried playing Blood Bowl, and it's fun. I'm not gonna say it's not
Your
fun
orders.
because then people will come out the woodwork to kill me, but
For the Emperor!
it's just very difficult.
Death to the Xenos swarm!
I wish orcs, Warhammer orcs, Shooter's Blood and Teeth was out though. I could talk more about this stuff.
There can only be victory. With haste. You will fall before me.
Nice. But all the other races have history too. Tyranids, technically we knew about Tyranids ever since the Horus Heresy. Basically, one of the things Reboot Gilliman did, because remember his 500 planets, they're all surrounded by a warp storm during the Horus Heresy. But he had like one planet that was like a beacon for anyone to see through the warp storm. But Conrad Kurz found out about it, and Conrad Kurz caused its destruction. But as it blew up, it let out an even brighter light for anyone outside the universe to see, and that's when the Tyranids found out about it. What makes the Tyranids such a scary threat, they literally, their armies get bigger the more mass that they eat. They are called the Great Devourer for a reason, because they eat, throw it up into a giant pool of acid, and they make more out of it.
Under fire!
Like, look at these guys. Hold on. Look at these. Look at these guys. It's fucking haunting. They're like xenomorphs. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? What about these guys? Look at that. Oh, they're the same. Oh, these guys. Look at that. No, wait, they're the same too.
I hear them out there. The sanguinary priesthood serves the will of the chapter.
The Tau are another race, of course. The Tau believe in the greater good. I'm not gonna go too much on any other race, though. I was trying to keep this just humanity based.
Thin their numbers, they will not overwhelm us! Death to the Xenos swarm!
I wish I was able to get Mechanicus before
Battle line squad
Warhammer
ready.
40k Mechanicus before this stream, because I would have played it there maybe, or maybe I'll do it next week. Next week I'll play Mechanicus for everyone to see, because I feel like that's definitely a very interesting race. They're technically they're still humans, but at the same time they're not.
Crush them!
They are but since they are humans, the whole thing about the Adeptus Mechanicus, once again, they think flesh just sucks ass. Like, there's no point to flesh. Why do we even have flesh? That's the way they think. But they also believe in the religion of the machine god. And, you know, they're probably thinking like, oh, that's not good with the Emperor. But the Emperor met them, like, when the Crusades were just starting, and they were basically like, oh, shit. You look just like our machine god savior, the Omnisaya. And the Emperor was like, that's fucking gross. Don't ever call me that again. I'm gonna have to kill you. But at the same time, he saw the Mechanicus and what they were capable of. And he was like, you know what? On second thought, how about we make a deal? I'll let y'all worship whatever fake, crazy, yoo-hoo god y'all believe in. And I'll continue being this crazy yoo-hoo god that y'all believe in. But y'all can't make any crazy shit. And so half of the Adeptus Mechanicus was like, whatever you say, God. The other half said, who the fuck is this guy telling us not to invent shit? If I want to put a demon into that Cadillac, I'm gonna fucking do it. And so that created the Dark Mechanicum.
They will fear to tread.
But these dudes Mechanicus are fucking nuts. They do everything for the sake of technology. Which is why Mechanicus, in Warhammer 40k Mechanicus, they have them fighting the Necrons. So it's like the most mechanical humans versus the most mechanical race. You know? Very interesting.
We are the walls. We are the guns.
Affirmative. We are the sons of Sanguinius.
Now, when the Primaris came, even though they were reinforcements during a very dangerous time,
to the sky, brothers!
They weren't. A lot of legions didn't just accept them. For example, Lionel Johnson. Lionel Johnson's a very paranoid man. You could ask him, what'd you have for breakfast? And he'd be like, fuck doesn't matter to you, bitch. Well, fuck you think you are just coming up to me asking me what I had for breakfast? Why do you want to know? To poison it, you ass? So, Lionel Johnson's very paranoid. So, when Reboot said, here goes your Primaris Space Marines, he just tortured them for information, and they're like, he was like, who do you work for? And they're like, oh my god, I just woke up, man. So, they weren't overly accepted. Like, as you can see from Battlesector, even the Blood Angels didn't really accept them. But the Blood Angels knew what they were. They were like, yo, these are better than us, man. They're closer to Sanguinius? Damn, that's crazy. So it was a big deal because the thing with the Blood Angels is every Blood Angel has a chance to go through the Black Rage and the Red Thirst. Every one of these guys right here and the many others, well, these are Primaris, so I don't think they technically count. But every Blood Angel has a chance to go through that shit, to just go technically insane. There's 2 squads of the Blood Angels dedicated to that shit. There's the Death Guard, where... No, actually, I think they're just one lead. They're just one thing now. I have to look into it. But there's a chapter in the Blood Angels called the Flesh Terrors, where they are clinically insane. Literally, if you look on YouTube videos, I think there's the Mr. Incredible goes plus ultra or some bullshit. There's memes of 40k, and it's like your Arcadian soldier and this specific legion came to help you. If it's like Layman Russ, it's like, alright, we're gonna live. If it's the Flesh Terrors, we're all gonna die, not because they suck, but after they fight them, our asses are gone too. So,
They will fear to tread close.
There's also the Grey Knights. There's a lot of legions. There's 18 legions, man. But the Grey Knights kind of do the same thing. The Grey Knights are the Space Marines of the Inquisition. The reason why I said, though, that, remember the story I told y'all about the last church and the Emperor? How the Emperor was like, oh yeah, I mean, humanity, because of religion, y'all started this whole witch-burning bullshit with the Inquisition and the Salem Witch Project and all this crap. Well, when the Emperor became a vegetable, that's what happened.
Taking fire!
The Emperor ended up becoming a fucking religion. The guy who's literally against religion ended up becoming a religion.
We are the Bloodblades of Skyfall.
With haste.
So now in Warhammer 40k there's an Inquisition, there's a religion backing up the Emperor. I swear, if the Emperor wasn't a skeletal figure, he'd probably be screaming right now. Even Reboot Gilliman, when he woke up, he was like, what the fuck is going on? What is happening? Look what the fuck like, hold on. Let me pull up this quote. Well, let me cut these guys down while I'm at it. There's a really cool fucking speech that Reboot Gilliman delivered after he woke up and everything was, you know, settled. Damn, I can't find it. But there's a speech where Gilliman is talking either to the Emperor or about the Emperor, and he basically says, look what the fuck they've done. Look what they've done to everything. What did we even fight for? We fought in the Horus Heresy to do what? To stop all this shit? And look what happened. What was the point? Horus should have just fucking killed us all. We fought for nothing. Look what they've done to your dream. It doesn't matter anymore. This just doesn't matter anymore. And it sucks because so Reboot was taught in the old ways of, okay, religion is bad. And that's what the Emperor taught him, you know? Oh, there's no one in range. I can bring these guys up to the front. So Reboot was taught that way. So it's not like, by this point, once Reboot is back, he's been made like regent of the Imperium. So like he can, whatever he says kind of goes.
When the day is darkest, we prevail.
But he can't just
control.
say, alright, fuck this, fuck the Inquisition, fuck the religion, fuck the cathedrals, fuck all this shit, take all this crap down. He can't do that shit because he'll just be seen as a heretic now. And heresy is bad.
Engaging the enemy.
It's crazy, man. It's why I like Warhammer, because it's like all the stories of all the races, they all have like contradictory shit. Even the fucking Necrons, even the Necrons themselves are a contradiction if you fucking think about it. The Necrons that are supposed to be basically T-800s, they're supposed to basically be these soulless automatons. A lot of them aren't soulless at all. The guy who catches people like Pokeballs, he's not soulless. He has thoughts, he's silly, he's a dumbass, but he's a smart motherfucker at the same time. Every race in Warhammer has a contradiction that just makes it so entertaining. Let me see if I can bomb these. Nope, I can't. If they get close, then I could at least do something there. Can he move? No, I used the ball.
We are the lords of the assault doctrine.
I can't even jet back up there to help out my HQ. But yeah, man, I love Warhammer. Warhammer is just awesome to me.
The swarm has no right to live.
But like, if I'm talking speeches, that Reboot Gilliman one has to be one of my favorites. I need to find it. It's just such a good speech.
I am ready to help.
There it is. Yeah, I think I found it. The revived Reboot Gilliman's reaction to the current state of the Imperium. Why do I still live? What more do you want from me? I gave everything I had to you, to them. Look what they've made of our dream. This bloated, rotten carcass of an empire is driven not by reason and hope, but by fate, hate, and ignorance. Oh, by fear, hate, and ignorance. Better that we had all burned in the fire of Horus's ambition than lived to see this. Love that speech, man. Because it's right. It's like, the Emperor was the first one to fucking say, nah, fuck religion, fuck all this bullshit, let's burn the churches down. And then once the Emperor's gone and dead and shit, he's just, well, not dead, but once the Emperor's just vegetable, they basically say, alright, he's gone, religion time, let's go. And it's like,
we are the blood blades
and we
of
finally
Skyfall.
have the closest reaction we have to the Emperor waking up and being like, what the fuck is going on here? With Reboot just coming out and saying, what the fuck is going on here? It's just, it's cool, it's crazy to me. I love Warhammer. It just, the stories behind Warhammer that people like write and shit are just really good.
I go where I am needed.
Affirmative.
Oh, fuck, I
Battle line squad ready.
Oh, well. These
Heavy fire support.
Here, so.
They shall not pass.
Next stream I'll probably,
Overwatch.
if I play Battlesector, it'll probably be through one of my saves, not a new game save.
Overwatch.
The reason why I wanted to do a new game save for the stream is like to get like, you know, get people's feet wet with the shit. So.
The blood waits.
Can you jetpack? No.
On my honor.
Rogel Dorn gave a badass speech too at the Siege of Hera. At the speech of Terra. Hold on. So it's the siege of Terra, right? Everything is riding on this war now. Like, it's do or die time. So Horus and all of his traitor Primarks are giving speeches about how they're gonna set the universe ablaze. They're gonna, even if they don't kill the Emperor, and they're gonna rule over everything and shit. Rogel Dorn just gives a very simple speech saying, the time for, Dorn himself spoke, a message that went to every helmet, box speed, and address system in the palace. The time for speeches is done, said Dorn. The first great test is here. My order to you all is simple, yet heed it well, and exert yourselves to see it done. They are coming. Kill them all. Because it was fucking do or die time, and Rogel Dorn said, fuck it. They want to come at us, then let them come at us. I don't even like Rogel Dorn as a Primarch. Rogel Dorn is a fucking asshole, but some sick ass shit, bro. But I'm gonna stop the stream after this match, for sure. But like I said before, there's a lot more to humanity. It's just, if I go on a tangent on every fucking on every like squad or every thing that happens to humanity, I'll be here longer than I should. Yeah, I can't even get shots off.
With strength.
I'll put them on Overwatch.
Look past their haze, brothers.
Look past their haze, brother.
Crush them!
I could have swore these assholes were weak to melee. I'm about to lose my assault score. Oh, they like them anyways.
My fury will be fast. Their death is our only option.
Like, the Sisters of Battle have very interesting...
You will fall before me.
They also have very interesting lore behind them, because they weren't... The Sisters of Battle, they're not... Don't think they're female space marines.
They will not overwhelm us.
Yeah, they were gone. Think of them as just women with faith. Faith is their weapon and shit. But their history is crazy.
Contempt is my armor.
Fucking Tyranids are nuts. Gotta do something about this guy. And there's more coming. I think I'm gonna move these in front and these back here to help, because I need to get to that last.
The sanguinary priesthood serves the will of the chapter. My duty is service.
We fight and we die for the Imperium.
better just set up an
They will
overwatch.
fear to tread close.
Ooh, good one. And the reason why I also don't go through the Octarius War is because it's just so... The Octarius War is fucking... It's enormous. Like, there's a lot of things that happen in the Octarius War. Like, if the 13th Black Crusade is the Water 7 saga from One Piece, then the Octarius War is fucking... Octarius War is the Kaido arc in One Piece.
Under fire! For the Emperor!
They will fear to tread close.
Because even though the Octarius War is mostly just orcs versus Tyranids having a giant battle to the death, it has a lot to do with humanity. Obviously, it's a fucking Imperium thing. Like, the Imperium started it, technically. They get into it as well because the Tyranids kind of forced them into it as well. So we can heal this guy.
Of course. The blood is strong. Do not falter.
This goes up.
Sanguinius watches over us. They will fear to tread close.
I guess I will touch upon the Octarius War while I still got time. So, in Inquisitor, I forgot to mention that. How do you miss every shot? Fucking Stormtrooper aim over here. In Inquisitor, basically said, you know, it'd be a badass idea if we got orcs and Tyranids to fight and we just kill whoever's left. The thing with orcs is they grow stronger every battle they win. So even if it's a small game of rock, paper, scissors, an orc will just grow big from it. You know what I mean? And Tyranids eat and grow their armies from that shit. So what happened was this Inquisitor captured a gene stealer. Gene stealer. These are basically possessed humans by Tyranids. They got this gene stealer, put him in on an orc planet or orc ship, I think, and just sent him to crash into the orcs. So he did, and it started everything. He slowly was able to create more gene stealer orcs. They look weird, but they don't have their own models. Surprisingly, I would have loved to have a Gene Stealer cult army with orcs. Until eventually the Tyranids caught wind of, yo, there's fucking Gene Stealers over here, bro. Let's go over there and see what's up. So they went and started a whole war with the orcs. God damn it, dude. Why don't you have more movement points?
They shall not pass.
How come that squad was able to shoot through rocks and y'all couldn't even shoot at people in front of you? Oh no, they're still alive. No, they're dead. Ooh. Oh yeah, that's another model. Armagons.
We are the vengeance that follows.
This is a bad fucking game.
Fire!
When the day is darkest, we prevail through control.
Well, the day is pretty fucking dark, homie.
Affirmative.
They're breaking through the line.
Open fire!
Nice.
Thin their numbers. They will not overwhelm us.
But eventually it was just a giant war between the Tyranids versus the orcs. Eventually the Tyranids won against that planet and slowly moved to another orc planet. An orc leader found out and he was like, Tyranids are coming? Oh, let's fucking go. I was in the mood for a fight. So they all start fighting again, and once again fucking Tyranids win that shit. Slowly though, the orcs were able to put up such a fight because it's an orc planet that the Tyranids were kind of pushed back until there was nothing but a small group. So the Tyranids had to commit to like hit and run tactics until eventually they were able to regrow their numbers double what they had before, until eventually they were able to finally kill the orcs on that planet. What led the Imperium to getting into the war, though, was
Battle line squad ready.
the Tyranids invaded an Adeptus Mechanicus planet, and the Adeptus Mechanicus obviously are on our side, so humanity said, fuck it, let's help these motherfuckers out. Which they tried to do, but
Death
didn't go so
Xenos
well.
swarm.
So far from what I know, the Tyranids are winning.
We are the walls. We are the guns.
Set up an Overwatch.
They will fear to tread close.
God, dude, Tyranids just look hideous no matter where you look at them, though. Interesting army, though. Like, if you're watching this and you've never seen Warhammer armies or miniatures, look into them. Like, just look at them. Just look at them. Go to a comic book store that sells Warhammer stuff. Look at them. Look online. Go to the Games Workshop store. Just look at them. They are very interesting to just look at. Finally, you fucker.
That is the last of the protenoids that I can gather here. Your assistance has been noted, Sergeant.
Bruh, seriously?
I await their mistake.
Push them back!
God, I hate these fucking
The
things.
enemy waits for us.
And they somehow ended up behind my guys, you motherfuckers.
Taking fire! Taking fire!
Yeah, this is bad. I wonder why it is.
There can only be victory.
The blood is strong. Do not falter.
With haste.
We are the sons of Sanguinius.
Always ready, always vigilant!
Battle line squad ready. Look past their haze, brothers.
I think what's really interesting about the Octarius War, though, is that, from what I know, Reboot Gilliman himself hasn't gotten involved. That was from what I know. He might have, but I don't think he has. So far, the only ones I know that have gotten involved are the Blood Angels. Not the Blood Angels, the Dark Angels. Sorry.
The blood waits.
Death to the Xenos swarm. We are the sons of Sanguinius.
Thin their numbers, they will not overwhelm us! Open fire!
Radio. That's all I can do. I'm doing very bad this game. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the stream. Well, not just abruptly either. In my other save file for this game, I'm doing pretty well. Like, I think I like 2 thingies ahead of this. I haven't looked into anything else in this game, like skirmishes. I have not looked into it. From what I've seen, though, Battlesector is very close to how regular Warhammer plays, and I know they're trying to do. From what I hear, they're trying real hard to add more things to Battlesector. Like, from what I remember, they're adding they just added Necrons, and they're trying to add the Sisters of Battle and then Demons right after. Very interesting. But yeah, these are like some, like how Warhammer Space Marines kind of look like, you know. Lieutenant, Librarian. Librarians are Psychers. Librarian, Dreadnought. Sanguinary Priests, which are healers, apothecaries. Tech Marines. Furioso, Dreadnought. Look at that gun. Aggressors, Intercessors, Hellblasters, Assault Squads, Death Companies. Those are the ones that I think go nuts. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's Flesh Terrors though, but I don't know. Inceptor. Oh, I got Hellblasters in my save. A Ball Predator, a Land Speeder Tornado. All it is just a minigun added to it. Oh, these are very interesting. Oh, hell no, nothing. Look at that on Hive Tyrants, Tervigon, Prime, Swarmlord. I think that's a Swarmlord. Warrior, Venom Throat, Trigon, a Thornback, Exocrine, Tyrannofex. Ah, Gene Stealer. This is like a pure-blooded Gene Stealer. That's like without any bullshit on it. Gargoyles, a Termagant, and a Harmagot. Yeah, man. Fucking Gene Stealers are scary, though. Like, the whole thing... So, the first thing that happens when a Tyranid invasion happens is they infect a human with the Gene Stealer virus. And it doesn't really do anything until, like, the 3rd or 4th generation of that bloodline with the Gene Stealer virus, when it starts getting, like, this weird growth on its forehead, like that one. Like, it grows ridges on the forehead, so it looks like Worf from Star Trek, and then it grows, like, 2 extra arms, until eventually, like, a whole planet is just infested with Gene Stealers, when the Tyranids come in and they're like, alright, it's time to harvest this bitch. And they harvest it. They do whatever they want with it. It's insane, man. But yeah, they're trying to add... They added Necrons. They're gonna add the Sisters of Battle. And then I think they said they're gonna add Demons as well. But I can't remember if it's Sisters of Battle first, because they showed the 3D model for a Sisters of Battle tank, and then Demons, or if it's Demons and then the Sisters of Battle. But yeah, I like this game. It's interesting. I just don't play it enough, like I should. But alright, stream's over. Next week... What should I talk about next week? I think next week I'll talk about the Sisters of Battle and exactly just what they are. And play-wise, I don't know. I hope to get Warhammer Mechanicus next week. If not, then I don't know. Necromunda's on sale. And Necromunda's a Warhammer game. I also have Mordheim, but I'm trying not. If I can't help it, I'll play something from Warhammer Fantasy, but I'm not going to explain Warhammer Fantasy lore because I don't know it like that. Like, I could tell you back and forth Warhammer 40k lore, but not fantasy because I'm not into it that much. As much as I am in 40k. I don't know. Warhammer Fantasy has some badass shit, though. Like, orcs are in there, regular elves are in there, ogres are in there. So... I don't know. We'll see. Later.